Okay, so we're going to do more overrated movies that people will be upset about, but will force you to understand what is art and what is your opinion.
Yeah, that our opinion is right and that
And
your
you're
opinion
wrong.
is wrong.
And I've seen every movie that's ever existed, and therefore I know.
Yes, I'm the
Dunstan
beacon.
checks in, top 3 for me. That's how you know where I'm at.
Dunstan?
Dunstan checks in.
What is it?
Dunstan checks in. It was about Joey from Friends. No, it wasn't. That was Ed. Joey from... There were two...
You don't even know
crazy?
your own references.
No, I do. I do. I'm thinking of 2 separate movies from the 90s that both starred monkeys. And one of them was Dunstan Checks In, which I think had Jason Alexander was in it. And then there was Ed, which was Matt LeBlanc, was Joey from Friends, was a minor league baseball player. And Ed, his best friend who was a monkey, would come to games and eat all these bananas and like help him win. I don't know how it ended, but that
Cinema.
I'll tell you this much. You ain't going to make a movie in 2020 using animals anymore as the main characters. You're like, there was a monkey the star of that movie. That's never going to happen anymore. A real monkey. Not a animated CGI. An actual animal from the zoo.
That's the way to do
was
it.
picked up and brought to a set.
And given sides and given a trailer.
Bananas, even though it doesn't actually eat bananas. It eats like ants and sticks and shit.
Monkeys don't eat bananas?
I don't know. I'm
Tragic.
just making a joke.
All right.
Anyway, we're talking about overrated movies.
Overrated movies. Do you want to go first?
Why don't you go first, and I can.
Okay.
I get worked up too easily.
This was a movie. I was watching it, and I got nostalgic about a lot of movies, and actually, I have a movie that I remember watching, and I was thinking it was bad when I first watched it, and now I'm on board. And then I'm gonna start with the overrated Garden State. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
which I have not seen. I have to get this out of
Okay.
the way because we're not going to dwell on it too long. But
okay. So
I've just never that. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind.
what?
I don't like Zach Braff. I don't.
I love Zach
It
Braff.
just looks like it's just going to be this weird. It's going to be a movie for sad people who have debt from the Apple Store. That's how I view that.
It's for sure. It's a white bummer.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
It's a white bummer, but it actually ends well. But okay, my only problem with this movie, and when I was watching it, I was like, it's a little boring.
Yeah.
It's a little snoozy.
One of those that just never gets better.
It does though.
Everyone says this is good, so I know we're an hour and 15 minutes in and it's still boring.
Right. Maybe this
Everyone says
last
it's good.
35
This
minutes.
last 20 minutes is
Yeah.
gonna salvage just dog shit.
Well, but no, here's what it was, because I was watching it and I'm like, dude, this movie is kind of boring, because I think that there was a time where nobody was really making boring, like subtle movies.
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I'm like, this is kind of boring. The characters are good. I'm a little bored. But then at the end of the movie, when I was watching it, I'm like, all right, I'm back in. And the end of the movie is really great. And I was like, now I remember why I like this movie. But Garden State, I do think there's a lot of the beginning of the movie, what it's trying to accomplish at the end and what it's trying to say about life. There's a lot of irrelevant shit at the beginning of the movie, but it's still good. And Natalie Portman is great in that movie and super lovable.
Yeah.
It's great.
But it's
I like
boring.
it.
So your point is it's boring.
The beginning,
boring.
the beginning needed a little bit more from me.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I think it looks kind of ridiculous. Looks like something my sister would have watched when she was in 9th grade.
I mean, I watched it when I was in 7th grade or whatever I was. I don't even know how old I was,
I haven't
but
seen it. Well, I'm going to clap back at you. I'm going to
Okay.
talk about, you ready for an overrated movie? And people will not like this. Arrival. I didn't think it was that good. I know it's pure opinion. Denis Villeneuve, however you pronounce his name.
what was
did
your
Blade
problem?
Runner 2040. The director did Blade Runner 2049. He's about to do Dune, which is coming out, which, frankly, if you're asking me, the Dune trailer was boring, but that's just me.
What's your problem with Arrival?
It was so, to me, I watched it and I was like so clearly, they're just trying to make Interstellar, which came out like a year before it.
Okay, fair enough.
I got that vibe the whole time, which is like, and then people will love to do like no, it's different. It's different because in Interstellar, it's more about like, travel. And then it's like this one, the aliens are going to come to play. No, it's not about hope. It's not about the human spirit. No, dude, it was They're trying to make Interstellar. They're trying to make a little wonky time, space, mindfuck, you know who it is. I thought the idea of the way they interacted with the aliens was awesome, of like writing things, and like that was the only way they could communicate was through like the symbols. But it just got to this point where the whole time I'm like, oh, this is so clearly trying to. You talked about it earlier. The time is the flat circle. I'm a little bit tired of it.
No, Interstellar was. You done?
I liked Interstellar.
Interstellar was good because it was actually, when you watched it was like, okay, we know this is true about space. We know that time moves faster, like the further away you get from you get away from the Earth. So it added up. So it's more about time travel and more about how that affects reality. And I was like, this is actually in like different dimensions, and it kind of gave you a little bit to play with, because there's like, we don't really understand a lot about how time works when we thought we did. So then they can kind of like go back in time, and when he's looking through the bookshelf, I'm like, okay, you know what, this is plausible enough because we know there's some fucked up stuff about time that we don't understand. So I'm like, okay, that's cool, I'm down for that. But I did not like in Arrival how they were trying to. I hate any sort of movie where they're trying to say time, like the time, like, oh, we're all experiencing life at different times, like time isn't linear. Like the only thing that is definitive is the past. And if you anyone that's like, you know, time's like it's not running in parallel, it's a circle and we're all experiencing at different points in time, I'm like, no. And even if that is true, there's no way you as a human being could wrap your mind around it, because we all experience the same thing of time passing. Time is passing, and all we know is the past. We don't know the future. All we know is the past. That's it. Like, that's it. And that's like,
I can't tell you how many times I've had someone exactly like you said, oh, time is like a circle and we're all experiencing, and it's just kind of like your position on it is dotted. Okay, well, right now, bud, we're at Best Buy. All right?
Yeah.
We're at Best Buy, and I don't want to hear this.
And I want a refund on my Logitech webcam.
My goddamn. I got the wired webcam, the USB one, because I'm poor. And I'm returning it because I'm that poor. I can't just take another risk. I'm coming back, and you're trying to tell me the time is a flat circle?
Yeah.
When I lost 15 days, I got your stupid warranty.
I do, and even like I thought it was like interesting, like the language, because the language was just kind of like a circle, and it didn't matter where you started reading it. But I'm like, even that's kind of dumb, because even sentence structure makes sense to us because we know what's going on as it, you know, because you need certain information first. So to be like, you know, that's how
it kind of works for a reason.
It was just, it's, you know what it is? It's another type of Inception movie for it's dumb people to think they're smart.
Yeah.
And so was Interstellar, though, too. But Interstellar was actually good.
Yeah.
Arrival was good, too. It was, like, fun.
It was fun. It's just, people talk about that movie like it's the goddamn 2001 A Space Odyssey, and it's like, let's chill the fuck out. You know what was one that's fun we were talking about earlier? Overrated movie. And, again, this is not a popular opinion. Slumdog Millionaire. Cool. The plot is so good, I guess.
It's corny.
It's corny. It's a corny movie.
What's your problem with it?
It's corny, dude. It's corny. I don't like a thing that turns into a musical. I'm not into it.
Yeah, well, that's just a cultural thing.
I mean, I get that. I just thought it was corny. Like,
which
supposed
parts?
to believe he's like, he's getting beat up, and like there's a spotlight above him swinging. It's like in the room. And he's like, come on, it's just.
Well, I mean, it's the whole premise of it is that like all these experiences in his life like led to all the questions. It's just in like back when it came out in like 2001 or whatever, we are all like, whoa,
yeah.
But now when you watch it, you're like, oh,
yeah. It's kind of like now, dude. If you want to know what? If Slumdog Millionaire was around right now, it would be a show on TNT.
Yeah.
That's all we got to say about that. Moving on.
That triggered, actually, I got another movie.
Rizzoli and Isles will be a feature before Slumdog Millionaire.
For sure.
Actually, that's not true in the slightest bit in this current world.
What about, okay, this actually triggered in my head when you were talking about the implausibility. The Usual Suspects is a very stupid movie. Because you realize in the whole, I'm not going to, fuck it, I'll spoil it. Have you seen it?
It's been around for a while, yeah.
Yeah, the movie, you realize at the end that this Kaiser Sose was Kevin Spacey's character the whole time, and the things he was bullshitting about were just things around the room that he was coming up with. Like, he would leave clues. Like, he would just, like, leave clues, and everyone's like, whoa, how brilliant. And I'm like, no criminal would ever do that. It's the stupidest thing. Nobody would
Kevin
ever.
Spacey, it's case-based. So he's out there and he's like, well, I think approximately over here, I'm going to put this. No.
You wouldn't. And it's funny because people are like, yeah, it's a movie. I'm like, yeah, but at this point in time, you have to suspend disbelief. And I'm like, you just get to the end. Watching that movie in like whatever, 2018 or 2017 when I watched it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this was you just wasted my time. You just wasted my time.
Well, I have a movie that made me feel that way was Paranormal Activity.
Oh, yeah.
When that came out, what year did that come out? Probably
2009, 2007?
No, later than that.
I don't know.
This is probably 2010 to 2012. I would imagine.
Okay.
God damn. Here's a question. Do people like that movie?
It was great. Yeah, it was very successful. I mean, they came out with sequels.
When I went to go see that movie, literally all of my friends who we all went with, like, all of them had the same reaction. Was like, "Is that the movie? Like, wait, nothing's People were pissed that nothing was happening.
Oh, really?
Nothing happens for the entire movie.
There's some good gags in that movie, dude.
It's such a waste of fucking time, dude. Like, you sit there I paid money. I paid like $7 in 2010, which meant something back then.
Yeah.
And the entire movie is just like, all right, they're just doing things. It's a family. It's family. Oh, door creaked open. 20 minutes of doing nothing. 20 minutes of doing nothing. Oh, the shelf moved. 20 minutes of nothing. 20 minutes of nothing. They're about to get a divorce. The son's going to be a juggalo. He's going to shoot up the school. Oh, that light flicked on. All right, we're split up. You're getting a condo. You're getting a condo where I'm breaking things off. I know you don't want the dog, but you're going to take him anyway because I'm getting a new boyfriend, and Danny's going to have like an actual father, not some limp dick loser who works at a fucking diet pill startup. Oh, the rug's gone. You know what I mean. And then at the end, they all get killed by...
Do they all die?
I don't know. Michael Richards. I don't know what... they all die at the end. Nobody remembers actually what happens at the end. But you know what I'm saying. It's just non-payoff after non-payoff after non-payoff.
You might have...
It was so stupid.
I felt... Dude, the thing is, though, people liked that movie a lot. Like, they did. I liked it. It was scary, and it wasn't like anything we'd ever seen before.
That's where you're right. That was the whole thing. Is that like when it came out, people were like, what the fuck is this? Even though that we had kind of saw Blair Witch Project 10 years prior...
Yeah,
like we were familiar with like this new like found footage style horror movie that was becoming a breed of the 2000s.
Yeah, but we hadn't seen it done in this way.
I guess. Listen, dude, I'm not gonna knock it for not being original, but it was just.
You thought it was a snooze fest.
I thought it was a snooze fest. I thought it never paid off, and I thought the gimmick only works if you. I don't know, dude. Horror is low-key like the hardest genre of movie to make. To make something that's truly, actually, true to form terrifying and make someone like really... It's so few and far between nowadays. And that's why Rob Zombie is a billionaire now. Is because he's just like, I just make slasher flicks where people do heroin and fuck and, fat chick gets killed by some guy in Texas. Like... That's why, you know what I mean? So,
but that's why Paranormal Activity came out, because we hadn't seen anything like it. And it was scary as fuck, dude.
Yeah, we're all watching Hellboy. Like, no, wait, now it's going to be scary. It's going to be a real family. It's like security cameras in their house.
Yeah.
It's like the scary.
It was good.
If you really think about it, like I think like the movies that come around and really scare people are often not like traditional horror movies.
Like what?
Like 24-Hour Photo was a pretty terrifying movie, and that wasn't really a horror.
It's a thriller.
It's a thriller.
Yeah.
But that's an actual... Maybe that's just me. This is personal preference, but I guess like to be terrified, I need it to be real. We're going to get to this point where like people, the only way they're going to be able to be scared is they're going to watch VR movies of their actual lives. Just...
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's literally just their exact life played for them, start to finish. They have to sit in a theater and watch it for 24 hours.
That's a real scary one. If you just see horrific shit that you barely missed in your life.
Yeah.
That's spooky.